Hello, my name is Shirley Self, and I'm here to talk astrology. And today I wanted to introduce you to the hero of the hour, one Volodymyr Zelenskyy. He was born the 25th of January, 1978, at around 2 p.m., and I do not know how to pronounce this, Krywoi, Ukraine. So this is the president of the Ukraine. This is one of the most amazing horoscopes I've ever seen. I cannot remember one recently that astonished me this much. This is a very, very powerful person. Let's pray that he survives what he has to do, because he's dealing with a very faithless and dangerous enemy. And he has been doing that all his life. Let's introduce you. This Jupiter, he's got a Jupiter in Gemini in it. He's a comic. He's a comedian. He is a lighthearted fellow. Dealing with, let's go over here, we've got a Mars in Leo, 0 Leo, opposition to the Sun-Venus conjunction up there in 5 Aquarius. So he's been dealing with heavy-duty crap all his life. Of course, he is a moon phase 16. Let's look at a 16 really quick here. Here he is, 16. He's just come off of this accomplishment of creating a unique individual, a unique person, self-created, and this unique person, Yeats called this moon phase beauty. This unique person is getting ready to step out into the world and to create a world according to his ideals. This is a personal world, but it's out there in the raw flow of things and fighting against the current, definitely. Because what a 16 wants, this is a perfect individual learning how to use their own personal power. And that unique power that it is his very own. The 16s, the mask of the 16 is the violent, physically violent moon phase 2. The body of fate is the fool who wanders because he no longer has to know where he's going. And creative genius here at the 14, which has perfected the art of the creative imagination. So 16 is stepping out into the world to see what it can do, what it can accomplish in the world. After all that work, perfecting oneself. Here we have, okay, so he's stepping out in the world to use his personal power. And it's a Uranus in Scorpio. Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, because what it is saying is it's talking about Uranus down there in the power chakra. This is your own personal power. You will do this, you will use this power in a way that has never been seen before. Uranus, it's right there on the 6th house of self-mastery. So, this guy has always had to deal with violence. First of all, he's got a Sun-Venus conjunction here, and I've never seen a man with Sun-Venus conjunction who wasn't bullied in their early years. And that shows right here, but that's not the only reason he was bullied. Notice this Chiron is in the 11th house on the cusp of the 12th. The 11th house is organized, organized people, organized attitudes. And he is Jewish. And therefore that, right there, he's having to fight for his life in a territory that lost many of its Jews during the World War II. Lost many of them, most of them. So here's a guy who's had to fight all his life, and he knows how to do it. This Uranus is saying, okay, you've got to be careful because you've got public responsibilities up here. Here's the midheaven in Aquarius. You've got public responsibilities. Midheaven is ruled by this Saturn in Leo, and that is an ambition to power. And he has achieved that. It's interesting to note that look at all the Leo we've got here. The Mars in the first degree of Leo. The Moon in Leo, and Saturn retrograde in the critical 29th degree of Leo. This is a person who has had to deal with the worst, pretty much, and wants to take that power and change the world. Remember, that's a 16, the job of a moon phase 16. It's the job of all the phases of the air quarter. Is you're going to change the world with your ideas, your rhetoric. So he's got this Leo, and this Leo virtually is theater. And he gained power through theater. It's interesting, I've seen on Netflix a few of the episodes of Servant of the People, and that was also the name of the party under which he was elected. One of the things he has done is they have made a law that billionaires can no longer give money, oligarchs can no longer give money to political parties. Cool, huh? What a forward-thinking man. Forward-thinking man. He's the powerful imagination right here. Where's his Neptune here? He has an idea of the kind of country he wants his country to become. I think he's a genius. Okay, let's look at this. Here we've got a trine between midheaven and the Jupiter, actually the ascendant, and we've got a sextile down here to the moon, and we've got a trine over here to Neptune and a sextile up to the midheaven. That's called an open door. That means he can open the door for people to what? Well, to virtually a more humane life. Venus, Sun up there, the highest goals are humane goals. And we're up here in the 9th house of concern about the future. So he wants the Ukraine to be a free country. He wants the Ukraine to be a free country, and is using all of his power to make that happen. And he has the chops to do it. What he has to be aware of, the thing that not only 16, but all of the air quarter, all of the third quarter people from 15 through 21 have to be aware of is frustration can lead to hatred, and hatred will lead you astray and will lead him astray. Notice the Mercury, Pluto there. Hatred can lead you astray. He must be very careful. The Neptune, change of values is what his door to the hero's journey. His Chiron is right up there. And what's interesting about this Chiron, not only is it the hub of this T-square, but it is he's got these 165-degree aspects to Uranus and to Pluto. 165 degrees, Noel Till suggested that it be called a quindecile, but I think takes no more effort to say 165 than it does to say quindecile. And if you say 165, you actually know what you're talking about. You say quindecile, and you have to know your Latin to figure it out. So he's got these 165 degrees to Uranus and Pluto. And what that indicates is a person who refuses to submit to others' control, who refuses to submit to others' aggression. Cool, huh? And he has had to deal with those others' aggression. That's the meaning of this opposition, Mars and the Sun, is to learn to own your own aggression. He's had to deal with aggression. He has to learn how to utilize his own aggression in a creative way. Remember, that's what a moon phase 16 is. Yeats referred to them as incredibly intelligent. That's where the air, that's the second phase in the air quarter. That is where the Demogorgon's gift of air is given to this entity, to the person, to the soul, to turn that air into intellect. And so how that comes across to a 16 is they're incredibly imaginative. Incredibly imaginative. So, remember this Venus in Aquarius here rules the 12th house of imagination. The moon rules the imaginative side, the subconscious side of the brain. So, and he has got this Neptune that is in I saw no bad aspects to this Neptune. It's part of this door, and that is compassionate action. Compassionate action. And so, like I say, if he can overcome his tendency, his frustrations, and not allow them to turn him into a hater, because, like I say, that will lead him astray. He is a compassionate person. He has actually to make this incredible change that he wants to do, make this change in the world, and lead his country to freedom. He's up here. He's on the side. This is the side of power, Capricorn. This is the side of inspiration, Sagittarius. And so he is more of a person who inspires action in the future, inspires other people to attain, and he will work hard to allow other people to attain what he has developed: a humane attitude. Look at this intellect right here. This is a sextile between Mercury and Uranus, and that shows the brilliance that is very common in a moon phase 16. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? South Node up here is the guys used to having to go to war. One of the many interesting things about this guy is that he is got 6 planets in fixed signs. This guy is what he is. He has made himself into perfection. All he has to do is learn to act in a perfect way, this perfect person. So, this incredible tenacity comes from the Chiron. He's also got a 165 here between the Mercury and Mars. And so that when he is initiated in action, the Mercury, when he is initiated in action, he will keep on it. He does not give up. This guy does not give up. He's got 3 of these aspects that I call the snapping turtle aspect. No, I ain't giving up until the dawn of Christ. So, he's got an inconjunct between the Mercury and the Moon. That inconjunct between the Mercury and the Moon means that that's part of that conflict of by God, you think you're going to humiliate me. You're not. You're not. And to avoid humiliation, look at this ambition. His ambition is to lead, to be a leader, to be one who inspires. Notice that the moon, this moon Saturn, is in opposition to the midheaven up there. The leadership position is right there on the midheaven. Anyway, he's used to war. He needs to learn to make a peace that is transformative. This is the North Node down here. It's not conjunct Pluto, but it's in the same sign. It's they're both intercepted, which means in his heart, he has to be powerful and peaceful at the same time, willing to be peaceful, and not giving away his power. It is a power issue. The moon Uranus there, and this is Scorpio Leo, is I do not need to be humiliated. No one has power over me. No one. It's a hard one. It's incredibly proud. Incredibly proud. And well, he should be. He is a servant of his people. He ran on that platform in that party. So that we've got the Chiron is squared to Mars, and that means that he has to learn to be adaptable. Notice he only has 2 mutable planets. This is a guy who's not incredibly adaptable. No, where are they? Oh, the Jupiter and the Neptune. The Neptune, they're both a demand that he be adaptable. If you want to achieve what you set out to achieve, you have to play it by ear, and you have to watch because it's ever changing, ever changing. Notice this is the ever changing part. This he's got that. He's got that. The midheaven I see is fixed. So, okay, what else do I want to tell you? Oh, okay, the wound to the value, the self-value, that's Chiron in Taurus, ruled by this moon over, not the moon, I'm sorry, Venus. Aquarius is cold, and when it's on the march, it's cold, it's cruel, it's heartless. Remember, it's not Leo, it's Aquarius. It's not warm and loving. And so, dealing with this, what he's had to deal with, virtually, I think it is prepared him for the job. What he's had to deal with is pretty much what he's dealing with now when he's dealing with Putin. Difficulty with dealing with Putin is that Putin is at 18, almost a 19. This guy is right on the cusp of 15, 16. Putin is on the cusp of 18, 19. 18 is the disappointed because my ideal is no longer available. And 19 is I will do anything to win. And I worry about that about Putin because Yeats called the moon phase 19 the faithless one, because they will change in a minute if they see an advantage that will help them to win. So, what else do we want? Oh, there's just so much in this chart. The Sun and Saturn are in mutual reception, which empowers both of them. And when a planet is in mutual reception, what it can do is you can imagine it is just moved over here. The Saturn, and when the planet, you can imagine, okay, the Saturn has a resonance with being at 29 degrees Aquarius. Okay, so that would put him right up here in its power. It's Saturn. Saturn on the midheaven is where it's the only place it's really comfortable. So it was like, okay, the sun. Imagine the sun down here will be right next to Mars. It will be at 5 Leo. It can imagine itself. It can work from that position. And so it gives a tremendous amount of self-control here to what could be just scattershot, you know. But having the sun have that resonance, you know, the sun rules that Mars. Having that sun with that resonance with that Mars. Mars is the minion of the sun. Mars, as the sun is will, Mars is power. Together they are will, power. And if they work together, that is really cool. That is really nice. And his sun and his Mars work together really well. I think the guy, in his youth, I think he was a fast learner. He was a fast learner. The Mercury Uranus only needs told once. Okay, let's look at the progressions of Zelenskyy. This has progressed to March of 2022. And if you will notice, I have spelled Zelenskyy with 2 E's instead of an E and then an I. I've seen it both ways, and being conflicted the way I am, I just thought I'd give them both a shot. Okay, so he's in the midst of war. And look at where the Sun, Mercury, Venus, the South Node, and the Moon have all progressed to the midheaven. That is, that's a good sign for war. Yeah. The North Node is still conjunct Pluto, and that is a sign of a demand. Make peace. The people are dying. This is the territory. This is his territory, his country. And we've got Mars on the ascendant. Mars is in Cancer here, 23 degrees Cancer on the ascendant. It's trine to the Moon at 20 Pisces here. Notice that Neptune is right here. Neptune transiting Neptune is right on, moving across the Sun, his progressed Sun. Or should I say his progressed Sun is moving across where Neptune resides? I don't know. Anyway, so we've got Mars in Cancer, ruled by this martial Moon. Here we've got a mutual reception. Now, Mars in female sign tends to fight a defensive battle. And that is what Zelenskyy is doing. He is fighting a defensive battle. Notice you've got over here, in exact opposition to the Moon, is this is Juno. Juno, I look for Juno to look for the faithless relationship. The relationship that is, you can't trust it. And she's got it right over there. Can't trust a thing, Putin says. Can't trust a thing. I think, let's look right here. Yeah. Here is, Juno is over here at, in the 7th house of open enemies and good relationships. So he's got both. He's got good relationships, the Fortuna there, and he's got the Juno there. That's Russia. Okay, well, what's interesting about this guy is that when I did his solar return, let me tell you about the solar return. The moon in the progress chart, excuse me, the moon in the progress chart is out of bounds, and that means that the warlike response is beyond the norm. I mean, it is surprising, and it has been surprising, has it not? In his solar return, the Mars is out of bounds, and the Mars is at 1 degree Capricorn on the ascendant. And the solar return, he's got a 2 degree Capricorn ascendant, 3 degree Scorpio midheaven. And the moon at 23 or 29 Libra in his solar return is right on the midheaven. So the solar return and the progress chart pretty much echo each other. Say this is the job to do, and he's doing it. He's doing it. Up here, he is actively imagining what he can do next. He is working all his options. He is working all his options. You can see this Neptune up here. Shout out to other people for help me here. And it's delicate, is it not? I mean, we're dealing with Putin. The Pluto here. The land is the land is a breadbasket for a huge territory. The land is a breadbasket for a lot of people. Its grains are exported worldwide, and it's important that here in the 5th house, it's important that compassion restrain the Saturn in Leo here. The I refuse to be humiliated, etc. It's important that compassion be powerfully considered here. We've got a trine from the moon to Neptune, and so he listens. He listens. This is a square, and it says you have to listen. Your actions must be compatible with Neptune. And Neptune right there is on the cusp of the 6th house of do no harm. Do what you will, but do no harm. Okay. Well, that's Volodymyr Zelenskyy, however that is spelled. It's an amazing horoscope. An amazing horoscope. The more I look at it, the more I find in it. It's just, I'm rooting for him. Volodymyr, I am rooting for you. I am. Stay safe. And that's kind of my message to all of you. Stay safe. I just recovered from my first bout of the COVID, having had 3 shots, and avoided the world successfully for 2 years. I finally succumbed to the, thank God, less virulent Omicron. And I'm, God, if that was less virulent, I'd feel for the people who had the hard stuff. I have not lost my sense of taste. That's it. I am grateful for that. Anyway, stay safe. Be careful. And tell the people you love that you love them. It's really important.